Welcome back to the FanSpeak Network and another episode of the NFL Betting Card. I am live with my guys here with Astaire and Tyler Hicks, and we are going to, of course, go through the Week 6 NFL Betting Card. And that's what I love about this show is we cover all aspects of it. We get these guys' spreads, these guys' favorite totals on the board. We talk through props, anytime touchdowns. We even go through some Thursday Night Football props and things that we like at the end. So anyways, let me get to my guys. But of course, first hit that like button, subscribe to the FanSpeak Network. We really appreciate you watching and joining us. All of our content is free here. And of course, on fanspeak.com, all their bets are free on the NFL betting card, on the NFL treasure map. So be sure to check that out at fanspeak.com. So got the brutal light. Sorry about that. Spread, I'll go to you first. Tell me about your week 5. I knew you had a great week 5, and I knew you even wanted to put more on the card. But tell me about how your week 5 went before we jump into week 6.
Meg, they say discretion is the better part of valor, but I felt that did not ring true this weekend as we left 3 winners off that we had kind of debated,
right? Yeah.
And, we were talking ourselves out of some good plays there. Of course, with me, talking against the Bengals for Tyler, and Tyler a little worried about the Chiefs play. So we're able to find some winning ways. Once again, models projecting a lot of favorites.
Right.
So I reached out to some other people who make separate models, and they're saying they're getting a lot of those too.
Okay.
I think this is a great week to talk through these lines. It feels like they threw up a bunch of 3s. And to me, that's the book saying we know who's really good. We know who's really bad. Right. And it's 5 to 20 range or, 9 to 22 range. These teams are all interchangeable.
Right.
And so I think this is a lot of fun as we're going to really figure out because my projections aren't really, having these teams separate. And from watching these teams, they haven't been able to separate. So in these next 3 to 4 weeks, I'll be interested to see which teams emerge in that mid-tier and which teams kind of fall to the wayside because, boy, I know the salary cap was created to create parity in the NFL, and they've done a great job because other than, 3 to 4 elite teams, most of these teams can beat each other any other week, and a lot of these 3s, I think, are the proper lines.
Yeah, no, I think that you make a lot of great points in that there's just a lot more parity there in the middle. And I've watched some of your other guys' shows early in the week talking about the team. I mean, Tyler, I'm gonna have to pick a bone with you. I heard you on yesterday's show on Keg's channel talking that Washington is the worst in the bottom 5. Do we really have Washington in the bottom 5? That'll be our big debate.
No, I didn't think they were bottom 5. I thought wasn't that you spread that said they were bottom 5?
No, that was me, and then that was you, and then I tried to pick 5, and then
you tried to pick 5. Because I'll name 5 that are worse than Washington.
Let's hear it right now. Let's get right to the stuff.
I swore it was a different team, and Washington was brought up as a team that could have been worse than them, but I can't remember.
Okay, well then
it was Washington.
I'll name that the New York Giants in our own division are worse than Washington.
Gave you that.
Yeah. Yes. Arizona Cardinals, though they have been playing better than expected. Even though the Chicago Bears beat them, I think they are worse than them, though they embarrassed us on Thursday Night Football. The Denver Broncos, who we'll see tonight. And I definitely
you get to that 5th one, it's like now.
I had to look no further than the NFC South, and yes, Carolina is the easy low hanging fruit. But I could have a couple other debatable ones, and it's why New England, Atlanta. I think Atlanta is gonna get shown.
We'll find out this week. That's where it's rough putting the Bears ahead of them, right? Because we just watched.
Right. I mean, they just embarrassed us. So, anyways, I had to open with that, Tyler, just to give you a hard time.
That's fine.
But no, and I had to, go on my Washington Homer rant. But no, Tyler, tell me about your week 5 again. You guys did a great job, had another great week, and you had a great call on the Cincinnati call. But tell me about your week 5 before we jump into week 6.
Yeah, it was great calls across the board from everybody. Made a ton of money last week. I mean, the Cincinnati call was free money. We knew that team was going to bounce back. Chase finally showed up, had a big game. So that was nice to get. And I mean, we should have let spread pull his trigger on San Francisco because that was the easiest cash on the board on Sunday. Was. I mean, they walked out there. pounded Dallas into the ground, and they wanted nothing to do with that football game, 41-10, and they went home happy.
Exactly. Yeah, I forgot that you talked about that and the London game, right? Spread that you were having us kind of debate which side last week.
No, the Kansas City was the other one that I ended up playing on my own.
Okay.
That I left off. And the under in the Texans game.
Okay.
Although I don't want to pat myself on the back too much because I think they had like 700 or 800 total yards in that game. And the total was like 40 something, 41. So normally 800 total yards is a 50-point game.
Right.
A little bit of luck there. And Tyler and I debated, what did you think about the Vikings Chiefs? I thought it was that they were right to pick up that flag. The ball wasn't anywhere close to them.
I actually
didn't see the very end. The penalty.
No, I didn't get to see the end of that game, so I missed that. I was just devastated by the obviously Jefferson injury, and I had a rough 4:00 slate. I had a great 1:00 slate as far as like DFS is concerned, and then all my stands on 4:00 were incorrect. So I actually went. This is why I missed that spread. I was actually out for the 4:00 games, and then I go everywhere I go in Baltimore is just all the TVs were the Orioles baseball game, which they got swept. But because the Ravens had already played, the Ravens played, lost. Then they put the Orioles game on, hoping to make these people happy. That did not. And so, yeah, I was like struggling, went to a couple bars Sunday afternoon with friends, and I had to like ask to have a football game on. I'm like, what is going on? This is brutal. So anyways, that's why I missed that one and hadn't had a chance to watch that game back yet. So anyways, you guys had a great week 5 and we're on to week 6. So any like kind of big thoughts for week 6 before we jump into like, again, we're going to hit the spreads, the totals, the props, the anytime touchdown, all the different markets, but any major thoughts you have going into this week's spread? I'll go to you first.
I mean, just repeating it, but I think that the books aren't sure, and myself as well, not sure what to do with all these middle range teams.
Mm-hmm.
So they're throwing up a lot of generic threes
for
the home team,
mm-hmm.
Which is fine. It makes sense to me. I mean, that's the joy of being a bookmaker, right? You throw the 3 up, and then you let the market let you know what we really think of these teams. But I think it's a tough week, because we're not really sure what to make of these teams. We don't have priors, and because we've seen a lot of games that aren't close, the teams that are better, your models are going to like a lot of favorites, basically. Right. And I don't. It's so weird. It's not.
And
normal.
Like you said, you asked around.
Normal.
You asked around the industry, and you said other guys doing models are getting the same thing. So.
Yeah. So a lot of people are going low volume this week because knowing experience, it's never that easy, right?
Right.
Because if all the favorites always won, every time you're in the sports book, you'd see a bunch of guys, cashed in their $20 to win $1,000 parlays.
Right.
But you don't. You see them ripping up the tickets and cursing about, I
can't believe this.
Yeah, I can't believe that this favored team didn't win. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I can't wait to hear some of your thoughts on these games. Obviously, Tyler and I have talked through them a lot, but we're close on a couple to adding to the card. So maybe some insights. So maybe
we'll have some debates. Yeah.
Maybe some debates. Could either have them add, or maybe we're right to be discreet this week and we'll keep them off, and it'll be the right decision.
Sure. Okay. Tyler, any big thoughts going into week 6 before we actually dive into what your guys' favorite bets are?
No, I think Spread touched on it very well. I mean, the projections, we don't have many older numbers to go off with these teams. We're not really sure who's the really good teams yet, and not really sure the sports books do either. That's the perfect time to be ahead of the market. And you just got to take stands. If you're right, you're going to make money on these teams. If you're wrong, though, I mean, you're just going to keep trying to pound these numbers that you think are right, and they're not right. So
exactly,
make sure you are on the right side of that.
Exactly. And I feel like early in the season, we're the same way with prop lines too, prop lines and anytime touchdown, market lines. I don't think those are, the books are quite efficient on those. I mean, I think obviously it's harder for the books to be as efficient because there are so many lines to keep up with. But I also just think early in the season, there are just some lines that we can try to exploit. And we're going to be looking to do that again this week as well. So anyways, let's start with your guys' favorite spreads of the week. And I'll go to you first, Spread. What is it for you? What is your favorite spread of the week?
All right. A team that we've liked so far this year comes back from London. Last week I was against that trend, but you know what? Atlanta did pretty well, and I looked into it a little bit more because before teams always took their bye off the London trip, and now they're preferring not to.
Right.
And some of the coaches said it's the same for the Jaguars coming home from London. It's actually going to Seattle is actually longer.
Right. And then going the other way, I wonder the difference. Yeah, like losing versus
it's
gaining.
not. It's not as. I mean, these guys are on private jets. They can like sleep the whole flight. So I'm not as worried about the travel here. And the Jaguars won 5 in a row against the Colts, and I'm trying to look it up. It's even more if I look at the last results here.
I know these trends date back to when the Jags were absolutely terrible and the Colts were fighting for playoff spots and the Jags would still beat them.
Yeah. From just recollection, that sounds right.
Yeah. So Jaguars have won 5 in a row here against the Colts, and I think it's going to continue. I'm laying 4. Gardner Minshew's in the game. I know the Colts beat us last week when we had the Titans, but the Jaguars are much better. We're seeing this passing game start to get going with Trevor Lawrence and the team. And the Jaguars actually have a very good run defense. It's better than their pass defense. So what we're looking at here is a team that should be able to shut down the strength of the Colts. Zach Moss was really how we lost that bet last week, and we incorrectly assumed that the Titans, one of the best teams against the run, would be able to shut down the Colts.
Right.
But that was their worst performance of the year, and I saw the look of disgust on Rabel's face there. So I expect the Titans to fix some things there as well. But I like the Jaguars at -4. I'm going to keep going with that trend. And hey, if the Colts beat me again, the Colts beat me again. They're a team that I've been down on that have been exceeding expectations. But I think the Jaguars will make things right in my universe this week and cover the spread.
I like that a lot. And yeah, spoiler alert, definitely one of my props are in that theme too, attacking the Colts defense. So Tyler, go to you. What is your favorite spread of the week?
Yeah, this is a play that I'm going to convince spread that we're going to make an official play because it's not official yet.
It's not on the book yet.
I think the number's a little bit too low. I think the number's too low. I think the market's a little behind on this team. It's your favorite team, Meg, but your darling, the Detroit Lions -3.
This is my darling. Yeah.
You just look at it, the matchup. It's like, all right, Tampa Bay won those couple games at the beginning of the year when teams were able to get a little bit of pressure on Baker, but he was evading sacks. He was ducking under. Guys were just slipping off of him, something Baker really doesn't do all that often. He's completing passes on third down, extending drives. I mean, he looked good in those first couple weeks. Then he played a Philly front that was able to get pressure on him, able to sack him, get him down in the backfield. He wasn't able to move the ball down the field. We've seen what happened there. They were just shut down on offense. Now they're going to play Detroit. Well, they might be able to run the ball a little bit on Detroit, but Aiden Hutchinson and these guys are still going to get pressure on him. Amon-Ra is going to be back on the offensive side to keep that ball moving. Montgomery's going to be able to move the ball on the ground also. And through the air, Goff's going to light them up. So -3 for what possibly might be the third best team in the NFC. I'll take a shot.
I've been saying that. I know. I love it. I love it. I love that you're with my darling team there, Tyler. I mean, I did say to spread before the show, I do think Bucks have been frisky, outperforming expectations for sure. Only thing that worries me, I mean, the Lions definitely do play so much better away, but I mean, look what they did in Green Bay. That was in Green Bay, an island game a week or two ago, right? So, yeah, I love my darling Lions, and certainly for best ball, I'm just rooting them on that they keep the foot on the gas. So, spread, can we talk you into adding this to the sheet? I'm loving it.
I knew you would be here.
I just had to be sold a little bit more, but I like it. Yeah.
Here's my concern, and we talk about these teams and how we're creating these numbers, and of course my numbers do like the Lions. Okay, but they beat the Falcons, who I'm not high on. They beat the Packers. The Raiders shut down the Packers. That's not a good offense. Then they beat the Panthers.
They beat the Chiefs.
That was week 1. Okay, I'm throwing week 1 out.
Okay,
I
okay.
told Tyler, I'm going to remake the model and take week 1 out. Week 1's preseason now.
Okay.
And Kelsey and Chris Jones were missing.
Okay,
So the
that's
Chiefs are missing two of
fair.
their three best players.
Fair.
Then they fell to the Seahawks. So how are they the third best team, Tyler?
I mean,
The
the
NFC
offense
Seahawks
is
have to be better.
the offense is a juggernaut.
How are they not
Seahawks.
better? Why did they win then?
If you're trying to push the Seahawks in at 3, I'm just going to counter that with Dallas every time. It's damn sure not the Seahawks climbing to 3. It'd be Dallas.
Well, we'll see this week because that's another play that I really like, and we'll talk about it. All right.
All right. So you're not. So TBD.
No. I'm not done yet. So those are my concerns. But
Okay,
here's why. Like, I kind of was talking myself into it this week.
Okay.
All right. Probabilistically, right? So we're having this debate and it's fun, right? And I'm saying Seahawks, Cowboys, right?
Yeah.
There's a pretty good chance the Lions are number 3. So obviously you guys have your own opinions, but if I were to put it in my head, what are the chances that at the end of the season we have the Lions as we think is the third best team here
in the NFC?
It's between 30 to 60%. It's really hard for me to gauge these things, right?
Sure.
Right around a coin flip, I would say.
Right.
If that's the case, we're drastically undervaluing this team right now. We're drastically undervaluing this team right now. If the Cowboys, who we're arguing, right, went to Tampa, what would the line be? 6.5? What did they do to Tampa last year in the playoffs? Right? Didn't they go there and beat them like 34-3?
Yeah, that's the one they rolled the first week, and then they got
housed by the Niners, which is their new lot in life. Right?
Yeah, lot in life. Yeah,
right. It's like right. Like in WWE, like Triple H always loses to The Rock or whatever. Right? The Cowboys just lose to the Niners. That's their job. They do the job. So that's why I'm thinking you guys could be right, because I'm thinking, okay, this fun as it is to debate, you guys can get a pretty good chance of being right here on this Lions, and if so, this line is wrong by like 2 or 3 points, and then you're going to say, well, spread. Are you saying the Lions are 8 points better than Buccaneers? Well, they might be. They might be. So, all right. Yeah.
Clyde's telling you never take a side. So he's in the chat giving you a hard time, spread.
Oh, really? Clyde, yeah. I never take a side, huh? Unlike all those units that were up last year on the NBA and we're being up so far on the NFL this year.
Exactly.
Yeah. Hey, Clyde, we got to be safer. Hey, these bookmakers are pretty good. These bookmakers know what they're doing, okay? So, all right. Yeah, but I don't want to talk Tyler off 2 winners. So I hemmed and I hawed and I made my objections known. They're on the record.
Right.
They're approved to add.
All right, wonderful. After the show, that will be added to the NFL betting card. That's what I like to hear because I like it. Okay, totals then, because we're just getting these guys spreads and totals. Spoiler alert: if you go to the NFL betting card, you'll see a very homer money line dog. I just put dogs, like one dog a week that I like. And I hit it last week with the Jets. We'll see if I run it back this week. And
do you want to talk about that one real quick? Let's talk about
sure. Let's talk about
it. I'm assuming, right? I know I can make an ass of you and me, but I'm assuming you put the Commanders on there.
Yes, you are correct. I put the Commanders.
They were plus 2.5. And so your money line is going to give you what are you getting at?
I got it at, let's see what I put it on the card. What is it now? I don't know if we'll see if the line's
scrolling by. Oh, plus 120.
Yeah. Let me see what the card. Yeah, it was
that's low for a 2.5.
Plus 124. And I put
they probably took a little money. I think it's a coin flip game.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, yes, you've got the homer, Meg. Obviously, I was dead wrong when we were on here last Thursday. My team was embarrassed and demolished on Thursday
you weren't the
night.
only one, right? I consumed a lot of content that day, and there was a lot of Commanders heavy builds.
Exactly. Yes. I think for DFS and sports betting, I was definitely not the only one. So that wasn't just delusional homer takes. And, Fields and DJ Moore just embarrassed our defense. But guess what? Listen, I'm not really a big believer in Fields as a passer. I think he can exploit when defenses are weak, and we were weak that night. But Desmond Ridder did put up over 300 yards last week. That's been one of the first times in his short career. He is not a passer I'm afraid of. What Falcons have their way, they're just going to run the ball, and Bijan does terrify me. However, I do think if we can force it to be where Ridder, if Hal and the offense can put points on the board, and I don't think the Falcons, and I know the Bears weren't getting pressure either, and Hal's taking like a record-setting amount of sacks, and I know all those factors, but if the Falcons aren't one to be scared of about getting pressure either, and if Hal and the offense can put points on the board, have more success this week. I mean, that game script got flipped and out of hand immediately and kind of never turned back, and then had turned into Hal throwing 50 times, getting sacked and dropping back way more than they intended him to. I think if they can flip the script and, get ahead and force it to not just be so run heavy for Atlanta, yes, it's on the road. We have won. If you want trends, I know we've won on the road. This is, I think, our third year in a row playing the Falcons. I know we beat them on the road, I believe, the last 2 seasons. Actually, Terry McLaurin has had very good games the last 2 times in Atlanta. So, there's just a lot of things that I like it for a good bounce back spot here. And I'm not afraid of the Atlanta defense for our obviously weak offensive line and Hal taking sacks. And I'm not afraid of Ridder, I guess, or the main.
Before we malign the offensive line, Hal is the slowest to get rid of the ball at 2.83 seconds.
Yes. He needs.
So that's going to be an issue. Is hitting those reads. Hopefully, the enemy will work.
He needs to have an internal clock too.
You talked up some trends, Meg.
Yeah.
That man, Desmond Ridder, never lost a home game in his entire career, dating back to college, and we're in Atlanta this week.
Really? He hasn't lost in home.
He never lost a home game, not even when he was at Cincinnati as a Bearcat.
Holy shit. That shocks the shit out. That shocks the hell out of me. I didn't know that one. That's an interesting trend.
You know what might even, just because I got us on the topic, you know what might even be a wilder stat? Cam Newton never lost a football game until his first game in the NFL. Could you imagine going through your whole life of just dominating everyone at every level?
High school and college went totally.
Yeah, and then you walk on the professional field and it's like, I just lost this game for the first. I didn't know what this felt like.
Yeah. How do you feel? Yeah. How do you feel that adversity?
That probably didn't feel good.
That's wild. That is absolutely wild. So where are you guys?
Let me throw in a couple more trends for you, Meg. You're 4-1 ATS in your last 5 against Atlanta. Commanders 4-1 ATS.
Yeah, right.
Commanders also, the total's gone over in 5 of the last 6 games in Atlanta.
Right.
But let's be careful with that trend because how often do you travel there? That's
well,
got to go back 18 years if I'm using 6 games.
We played them because we finished roughly the same as Atlanta. We've played Atlanta. We've definitely played Atlanta a lot in the last 5 or 6 years. And I know this, I believe we've played them 3 years in a row.
I'm just saying we're going back to times when right, you had Kirk Cousins as your quarterback, and I'm trying to even think who they had Matt Ryan.
Sure.
So that's why I'm a little careful of those on the over. Here's my thoughts with yours. Why am I not just putting them in a teaser? Do we really think Atlanta can win by margin here? They don't have this high-powered offense.
Right.
If they do win, it should be a really close game. I like the Commanders as a teaser spot here a little bit more. I guess if you have to pick a side, I think it's a 50-50 flip. So I'll take the plus 120. Total's 42.5. Like I said, I'm fine staying away from that because I know there's that trend that says to the over, but I also don't know how much that's really helping us, right? Different,
right?
Kyle Shanahan could have been the coach for a couple of those, right? Your offensive coordinator,
right?
And he could have been the quarterback for both, right?
Yeah.
For how long this trend,
for how far it goes back, yeah.
So I like the Commanders, but Meg, I think that you really play it safe and you anchor them in a teaser.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, underdogs on average win at a 33% clip.
Just so you know, I
just pick like one or two spots a week, and so far I'm over 33% on my underdog spots, and I think I'm gonna keep that trend going with Washington this week. But we'll see. I could be,
and I'm halfway there with you because I'm going to add them into a teaser right now. They're going to be the first leg, and during the show, we'll find it and we will complete it. So right now, the first leg of this teaser that I'm building here on the the NFL betting show brought to you by Fanspeak. Washington Commanders. I'm going to bring them up to 8.5.
Okay, I like it. So Tyler, do you think I'm a delusional homer, or are you siding with Ritter's undefeated home record?
I'm not siding with either, Meg. I probably stay away from the side in this game. Yeah. Just because it rubs me as one of those games where could I see Washington winning? Of course. Could I see Atlanta grinding out a win? Of course. Do I see one of those pathways being more likely than the other? Not really. Like, I could see they hit the field 10 times and you get a different outcome 10 times.
Right.
I just don't see one side just flat out dominating the other every time they hit the field.
Right. Okay. I respect that. I'd say if we played this game 10 times, neutral site, again, this is in Atlanta. I'm aware of that. Again, we have won, I think, the last 2 in Atlanta. But neutral site, I personally think we'd win, 7 out of 3, at least 6 out of 4. But I get I respect that for most it is probably a coin flip. So anyways, that is I got the Jets money line. I'm going to see if I can run it back with the Commanders money line. But enough about that. I want to hear about your guys' totals this week.
Before we go into totals, Meg, just because none of us picked this side, and I just think it's a free square on the board.
Yeah.
How the hell is Cleveland scoring points this week?
That's a great point. Yeah.
They are not scoring points. I know me and Brett talked about it. It's like, oh, this is the spot for a letdown.
That's my worry. This is the ultimate letdown.
You can't let down when the other team's not going to put 14 points on the board. Like, their offense will not be. I don't care if the 84 Bears are on the field. That San Francisco offense is not being held to less than 14 points.
Wait, who's your great offense you're using?
Well, I said this 49ers offense right now. If you put that Bears defense from whatever year.
Oh, the 85 Bears.
85, 84, whatever year it was.
Oh, you old guys. I love it. That's hysterical.
Oh, no, they would get crushed.
No, you're saying that San Francisco now versus the 85 Bears.
Yeah, like
we're playing by those old rules. You guys are getting crushed. We play 1985 rules.
1985 rules. That is very different.
Where you can't run over the middle.
Yeah.
Let's just break everyone's neck.
Yeah,
you understand? When I was your age, the term defenseless receiver didn't even exist. There's no such thing. The way you defended your receiver was you kept the ball low.
That was back when football games were like 12 to 9 because all those skill players were dead.
It was sweet. And there was a segment called Jacked Up. It was like basically everything that you would get flagged for now. It was like, who was it? It was like Tom Jackson and
I think I know
another guy, and they would be like, let's see. And then some guy would run around the middle and be like, Chris Carter, you just got jacked up. It was so sweet, Tyler. We got to go watch one of those old ones. I'll find one on YouTube. And it was the best segment of the week. Perfect Rotation also should throw in the chat. He's been tweeting about how much he likes the Ravens this week. We talked about travel angles. Mm-hmm. And he's concerned with Tennessee traveling so late. Have you been?
I saw the Ravens. I saw the Ravens went on Monday over to London.
And that was because they haven't been since 2017. They went in Friday in 2017 and they got smoked. So Harbaugh said, I'm doing everything the exact opposite.
Smart. Yeah. Smart.
Which I thought that was fun.
Yeah. So when did Tennessee leave? Because obviously Buffalo struggled with that.
I think they're leaving today or tomorrow.
Oh, geez. Wow. Yeah, no, then I might want to hit the Baltimore spread just on that. My God, I think that's a massive advantage. That was very smart on Harbaugh to go out there Monday.
Yeah. So if you're not following him, I caught that on Twitter.
Okay. Yeah. And so he mentioned that he likes what Tyler said, and he likes the 49ers spread. And that's a good point because this stuff with Deshaun Watson, all this news each day just sounds like I don't know.
He's not playing. I read today it's going to be PJ Walker.
Okay. Yeah. So he's not playing. And and that situation just seems so weird because it just sounds like Stefanski's been calling him out and he could have played maybe, and it's like his choice. And it's just something's weird with that something doesn't smell right with that whole situation. And then, PJ Walker's playing, to Tyler's point, how are they scoring 14 points and perfect rotation, Tyler. I agree with you. I like the spread.
So I guess the answer is going to be quick. we don't try and middle this, Tyler, because the reason we wanted to make sure we tweeted the second that treasure map was done was for potential opportunities like this. So where if you bet it with us on Tuesday, you have a minus 5.5 in your pocket. You can get a 3-point middle right now through a key number of 7, which is something normally we would be all over and just, la-di-da-di-da, enjoy the game. Hopefully it lands at 7. But my guess is it sounds like Perfect Rotation doesn't believe so. Tyler, you don't think we hedge. You think we just cash that 5.5 and keep it moving?
There's a 0% chance I'm cutting my money in half or cutting all my money apart just to get a 3-point middle in a game. Walker's going to be the opposing quarterback.
All
I
right.
agree with that.
Fair.
I'm with,
And that's why it's a quick conversation, but I
Yes.
definitely think anecdotally, though, or whatever, this is something that you're trying to do when you're betting early in the week.
Right. No,
when
good.
it moves through key numbers, it's all,
Right.
obviously situationally matters, but it's a tough one to turn down. But I'll listen to you. We'll keep it. I'm happy we got that 5.5 up, and that's why we put the treasure map up Tuesday.
Exactly.
So you can take advantage of these early lines. And let's say you were a little doubting it like I was, because I do think it's the ultimate letdown spot, right? They just beat the Cowboys. It's one of the biggest games of their year. They have all week everybody telling them that they're the best team, including myself, that they're the best team in football. People will run into the window to bet them to win the Super Bowl, which I kind of have to agree with. They look to be the best team right now.
Yeah.
I'm just worried, because there's a reason these teams don't go undefeated.
Okay. Well, I think so. This might be another one we add to the card then, potentially.
It's already on there, but I just feel bad for people because if they didn't bet it yet.
I apologize. You're right.
Don't feel bad because
We have
people,
that
if they
on.
didn't get it, they could just go smack the 49ers with the Eagles in a teaser, and they're completely fine.
So should I add that to my little show teaser?
That's what I'm doing.
Get it down to 2.5?
There you go.
Right,
I said it when we did the playbook spread. I said the moment this hits 6.5, it's an anchor in every teaser.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And you said you want me to put the Eagles on there?
As the second teaser, yeah.
I'm keeping Commanders. I'm going to 3-teamer. Let's go. Plus 150.
Oh, all right.
All right.
All right. You guys ready to talk some totals here, or your favorite total spread? What is your favorite total on the board this week?
All right. Yeah, we might be a shorter segment. I don't know if Tyler's joining me here because we only have one on the treasure map, and I was fine with that. I told him one thing I did like, even though we had a lot of favorites, was we were really close to the number on most of these, which makes me feel pretty good because these guys know what they're doing.
Right.
I know Clyde makes fun of me, but I want to be close to the book. These guys know what they're doing.
Right.
I want to be close to the numbers they're putting up, and then using edges or situations to beat them. So our favorite total of the week is over in the Seahawks and the Bengals. It's actually dropped a point. It went from 46 to 45. Now, Tyler, I believe those are weather-related concerns. Am I correct for that total being dropped, or is that an actual market move?
Here, give me 1 second.
Yeah, I was pulling up some weather.
Well, you
I
do
know
that.
there's some weather tonight, too.
Yeah, I think it's a
55 degrees, chance of rain showers, 16-mile-an-hour winds north.
Yeah. So, are you concerned that we should still be recommending this now, or are you still fine here? At 46 was our idea. Was these are two high-powered offenses. I don't believe that Cincinnati's defense is fixed yet. I believe that Jesse Bates, who went to Atlanta, which could be rough for you, Meg, on that pick, right? Because he's meant a lot to the Atlanta defense. Yeah. And I believe that not having him out there has hurt the Bengals more than a normal safety really would, because I know that the models and the way that these GMs pay these players, they don't value safeties that much. But I think he really does mean a lot to that team. Also, we saw the Bengals getting back on track. And when Tyler was touting the Bengals last week, he said, hey, Burrow's back to 100% or pretty close. And if he is, he's back to being the top 5 quarterback in the league with all these weapons. Seems to me these guys are going to run up the score pretty early. So we like the over there. Tyler, concerns about weather, though, should we be tempering our expectations?
Not really. I mean, that wind is once it gets up into the 25-mile-an-hour winds, that's when it's like, all right, it's gonna rip that football across the field if it's up in the air.
Right.
Both teams Seattle mainly will still be able to run the ball. If Cincinnati will still be able to push the ball through the air, even in the wind, they'll just make the passes shorter. They'll get it to Chase quicker, and then he'll do it all, run after the catch. Higgins might be back also, which helps the offense. I still like the total because I think it looks similar to Seattle-Detroit game, where like they might have a couple minutes where it's like, oh, no one's scoring, but then you're gonna have this barrage of touchdowns that just get you up over the total. And the final score, both teams will be in the high 20s. Maybe one gets into the 30s. So I definitely think you get up over that total.
Okay. Are there any other totals that I know you guys obviously work together on this and love this one. And this one is on the NFL betting card. But are there any other totals that you wanted to point out, Tyler?
That was the only one that really stood off the board to me. If I was to force one more total, it's just an auto click on the under in a Patriots game. Like, one, how they putting up points.
Yep.
Two, I don't think the Raiders score enough to get up over the total on their own.
I like that.
But that number is so low, like I don't want to make it an official play. So
sure.
I'll lock on the spread on the Seattle play, and we'll just ride that one.
Exactly. And you never want to force it ever. So I totally get that. Can I ask you guys about one total that I was considering? What are your thoughts? And maybe I'm just being way too bullish. And I was nervous about the whole Jacksonville coming back from London after being there 2 weeks. You made some good points about that and maybe not being as concerned about that. But the total that I was really interested was the over in the Jacksonville Colts game, 44.5. Minshew is one of the best backups in the league, has been very efficient filling in for Anthony Richardson. I obviously think Jacksonville's offense is clicking again. It's in Jacksonville, not indoors, but Jacksonville, good weather. That was one that I was kind of circling as I'm interested in Jacksonville. Obviously, we talked through that. We'll talk through that and some props too. But what do you guys think about that total?
So we have it at 45. So if we're going to play it, we have to look for the angle that we like. Really, can we expect an offensive explosion from the Jaguars here? And that's my concern. Some of these division games tend to play tighter.
Yes, division games
than usual, which is why I don't think that we made a play on it. But hey, maybe this is the week. I think that Jacksonville's the team that you need them to win by margin. I think for this to go over.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I just want to get your. I just want to get your guys' thoughts.
30s.
Okay.
What'd you say?
Yeah, I agree, spread. I definitely think they got to get into the
30s. Okay, well then again, you never force it. So I just wanted to ask and get your guys' feedback on that one. And again, maybe I'm being a little too bullish on the Jacksonville offense in general.
I don't think you are though.
No, I think
it's a good reason to be bullish. My concern is just we know how these, and we'll get to this because we're going to talk about Thursday Night Football to end the show. So make sure you guys stay tuned. But these divisional games play tighter than normal, right? I mean, I'd really like it. If I was on 45, I kind of would like it more if they were playing a non-divisional foe.
Yeah, I agree. Those divisional games are very tough as far as like a lot do fall under the under and a lot can be slugfest even when you kind of don't think so. So, okay. So we covered the spreads, we covered the totals. These guys talked about their teasers. I talked about my homer money line underdog bet. Now let's talk some props and, early in the week, it's tough. Not all the lines are up. But I'll go to you, Tyler. Are there any props that are jumping out to you at this point? Again, more will be added in the next couple of days. And check back on the NFL betting card by Saturday. We will have all the props and anytime touchdowns that we like up for Sunday. But any that you're liking now, Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, looking at the board right now, Meg.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, looking at the board right now, I mean, there's just nothing really jumps out to me yet. Go to spread first. Let me see if I can find something on this.
Okay. Well, Spread, did you have a prop that you liked? If not, I know you said you jump in.
You take over and then I'll jump in on touchdowns.
Yeah, you do.
I don't have a yardage prop.
I know you like, so
except for tonight, but we're going to do the game.
Yeah. So I've got one that I love. And again, it goes right in lockstep and theme with what we were just talking about Jacksonville. The only thing I was really nervous is the coming back from London for 2 weeks. But I think, people saw Calvin Ridley week 1 and thought kind of what we thought at the end of the summer. This guy's going to be the alpha receiver. Then he had a couple down weeks, some drops. People were getting concerned. The overreaction week to week in the NFL is wild, as we all know. And he bounced back in London and looked like, a very dominant, wide receiver one that he is. So I think the line is way too low at 59.5 minus 114 on FanDuel. I think he could sail way past that. And I probably would be interested in some alt lines, to be quite honest. But my official play, and what will definitely be on the playbook, is Calvin Ridley over 59.5 receiving yards.
All right, Tyler, did you find one?
Looking at it, I don't mind this Scary Terry over 4.5 receptions. I mean, there's been all that chatter that Sam Howell needs to go to these guys more, and this could just be one of them games where he just peppers him with the ball. You said it. Yeah. He usually plays good in Atlanta. He's in a dome, so they don't have to worry about weather. I think it should be a spot where he catches 6 to 7 passes. So 4.5 plus money, I like that one.
I like that because, like you said, there's almost just the squeaky wheel of the media being, ironically, I just saw a chart that Washington has, I think, the highest pass rate over expectation. Problem is you can't take advantage of that in the prop market or daily fantasy or anything like that because it's not condensed. It's the Kansas City offense with Eric Bieniemy, and it's spread out amongst 10 guys. He's hitting the running backs. He's hitting Logan Thomas, the sometimes backup tight ends, all the receivers, including 4th, 5th, 6th guys. I mean, there were Byron Pringles getting catches last week. So it's crazy. It's very, very dispersed as far as target share. And when you have Jahan Dotson and Terry McLaurin, that's great that you can spread it out and you don't have to force it to one guy, but you definitely should be having a higher target share than 13, 15, 16%. And you need to be getting Dotson and McLaurin more targets. So I like that. Hopefully the media squeaky wheel happens and they realize to have some sustained success on offense, maybe get it to these 2 very talented receivers at a higher clip. So again, another very Homer bullish take on that. I just believe, and he has had very, very good games in the last 2 years in Atlanta. So like to run that back. All right. So we've got the Ridley over receiving. We've got the Scary Terry over reception line. And now let's hit the anytime touchdown market. I know the one that I wanted to hit was not available yet. I'm going to recheck it now, but I'll still say the name and then just we'll look out and see what the line is. But Spread, I'll go to you first. Do you have an anytime touchdown ready?
Yeah, I thought I was going to do the thing I did last week where I combined 2.
Okay.
But I don't even need to. Why is Jalen Hurts only minus 126? That's crazy to me. I mean, this play is just crazy. And it's so funny. They were talking about banning it, but no one else can do it.
They are one of the only successful ones to do it consistently successfully. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's almost like you need the best offensive line in the league and a quarterback can squat 600 pounds.
Right.
Pull it off.
Right.
Jalen Hurts, man, he should be like minus 170. It's minus 126. This is too easy. The way they did that was so fantastic, especially since we had the Eagles minus the points. But with 2 seconds to go, they just run it. That's how confident they are. Right. They would have if that didn't work, they would have left that the 1 yard line with 0 points. But instead, they just said this play is unstoppable. I'm going to go with Jalen Hurts. Okay, I like it. I mean, you can't go against the tush push. So and if you want to add an easy one, I mean, Tyreek Hill's minus 176. I mean, if you want to start adding, man, I really like it.
If you want to do your put together too, just put Hill and Cup together.
Yeah, Hill and Cup. I love Cup, but he's minus 125 or something like that. So
and minus 125, I think you can play him single.
Yeah. So
let me see what I have for Cup. I have minus 143.
Okay. Yeah, I think I thought I saw minus 125 earlier today when I was researching.
You guys have better lines than me.
But okay. So Tyler, let me get your anytime touchdown, if it's available, or if not, say one that you're going to be eyeing the price for.
I see a price on DK for this one. I'm going right back to the game that I like the side in. And Spread's talking about too easy with touchdowns with Jalen Hurts. Well, Amon-Ra St. Brown scores him pretty easy too, and he's plus 125 against the
Nice.
Tampa Bay defense that's way better against the run than the pass.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be the number one receiver there. I know Jameson Williams is back, but we all know he's going to get double-digit targets here. The dude could easily score the first touchdown of the game. We could be done with this pretty quick. So give me Amon-Ra St. Brown plus 125. Jared Goff's best receivers back on the field this week for him. He'll find him in the end zone.
I like him. I've been hitting. I got Laporta. Laporta was on the sheet last week, and we had Reynolds over. So we took advantage of Amon-Ra being out last week on the sheet. Hit the Reynolds prop, hit the Laporta touchdown. But I do like you said, the best receiver for the Lions is back and taking advantage of that at plus odds for a touchdown. Let me see on FanDuel earlier, this line was not available. And on FanDuel, it is still not. Do you see any touchdown lines for the Cincinnati Seahawks game yet, Tyler, anywhere?
Yeah, DK has them.
Okay, DK has it up. They did not have it up earlier. Okay, perfect. Okay. So, yep, got it. Perfect. Kenneth Walker plus 100. He has, and I'd have to pull it up quickly, but he has one of the highest rates of getting red zone touches for a running back in the NFL. He's been getting an obscene amount of, high value touches, and he's converted a lot of them. So, and I just think a lot of people, he was another one of many running backs that people were kind of underestimating, thought could get almost kind of quasi replaced by a rookie. And he's still, dominating for Seattle and definitely dominating the red zone touches. So you guys think this is going to be a high scoring game? The reason that Tyler Lockett and Metcalf's touchdowns have been so down so far this season is because Kenneth Walker is getting them. So if I can get Kenneth Walker at plus 100, I love that. So, all right. So we got 3 touchdowns. We've got Jalen Hurts, Kenneth Walker, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I like it. Now, unless there's anything else, is there anything else on the sheet you guys wanted to debate before we go over to the Thursday night matchup between the Broncos and the Chiefs?
What was the other one I wanted to add? Oh, Tyler.
Okay, let's debate.
Let's say the guy's coach's name for the New England Patriots was like Bill Barnes. We would all agree this is the worst team in the NFL.
I agree.
We got to lay it with the Raiders, right?
No.
Why not?
Because your guy's defense sucks, and it's one of his former coaches.
It's not that bad anymore.
It's one of his former coaches that he usually beats up on. Like it's just one of those,
last year.
It's one of those spots where it's just like everyone's gonna line up. It's gonna be like, oh, this team sucks. This team sucks. They're gonna do what Pittsburgh and Tennessee have done, and they're gonna ruin everyone's parlay a couple weeks of the year. I think this could be one of those weeks where Ramondre Stevenson has 2 touchdowns. Jimmy G has a few picks, and somehow the Patriots win this game like 20-14.
They're not going to win this. How's Cleveland going to score? How is New England going to score?
By stupid turnovers from Jimmy G. Cleveland won't get those same turnovers. We're talking about the guy that's leading the league in interceptions right now, Spread. You're acting like the guy's safe with the ball.
That's a good point.
I mean, you could literally see it coming every play. Like if he drops back and his feet start going like he's prime Peyton Manning, if you can live bet the interception prop for that ball leaves his hand, get it in because he's going to throw a pick on that ball.
It doesn't matter. We're going to smoke them. They suck. They're terrible.
It's one of those ones I'd rather leave the money.
Jimmy G can turn it over 3 times, and they're going to get field goals each time.
That's probably true.
Who am I worried about? Tyquan Thornton? You got to be kidding me.
It's just the defense not being good. Max Crosby's the only good player on defense.
No, Amik Robertson has the highest passer rating against in the NFL. 3.3 passer rating allowed when thrown at him.
I want to know how many times he's been thrown at.
He had to have at least 10 targets to qualify for that list.
He probably has the minimum.
Oh, my gosh.
Well,
so you're basically just fading my team. You didn't even say anything good about the Patriots.
No, I just wouldn't bet the game. It's the same thing as the Baltimore Steelers game last week, Spread. I look at it and I'm like,
but it's not though, because that's a crazy rivalry where the underdog had won like 5,000 times in a row. We're not really a rivalry.
I just don't. I see similarities, and I don't want to stress myself when I have better spots on the board.
No. Okay. Right now, Bill Belichick, his career was like Game of Thrones, and they're in that last season right now.
Don't
freaking terrible.
Don't we talk about this?
Terrible.
Look, we've done this in the NBA before too. I can recall a Pacers game specifically when we were like, all the players have turned on the coach. There's a 0% chance they go out here and play good.
Who'd we say they turned on? Carlisle?
No, they turned on the foreign guy. Remember before they got Carlisle?
They did turn on that guy.
Yeah, and then we faded him that night. You want to know what they did? They went out and won the game by 20.
It's the NBA. We're talking about a sport where everyone tries every night.
And now everyone's bashing the Patriots in the media. Mac Jones hates his receivers. There's never a spot where they can.
And the receivers hate Mac Jones. Everybody hates Mac Jones.
I mean, I hate Mac Jones too, but if there was ever a spot for these guys to rally together and pick up a win, it's probably right here.
Perfect rotation says your Raiders win, but Pats cover, run away from the game. So,
I'm victory lapping this one on Monday. We're gonna smoke.
I wouldn't bet this
team
game
is terrible.
If this Raiders Patriots game was tonight and the Denver game was a Sunday, there's a 0% chance I'd have any money invested in tonight's game.
Oh, you wouldn't even bet it if on an island game? Okay.
Nope.
Okay.
Well, that makes sense. Thursday night's wacky. But no. What if I told you Bill Belichick wasn't there this week? And, he took like a leave of absence.
Thursday night's wacky when this same matchup was won by a pitch play that was fucking caught by Chandler Jones, who's in jail now and ran to the house at the end of the game.
I totally forgot that. Yes, I totally forgot about that play last year. That was so wild.
Okay, first of all, he's out on bail.
I mean, just like I got perfect rotation. So the Chase said, "Do you guys remember how the Patriots Raiders game ended last year? I had the Patriots face droopy eyes. Like it's just one.
That was ridiculous.
Away from it, spread.
No, we're gonna smoke. They're so bad.
So spread's betting it. Tyler's fading it.
Of the two plays that we wanted to argue to put on the sheet, Meg. Don't we feel like Detroit's a lot safer here?
I do feel like Detroit is safer here. I'll agree with Tyler.
Wow, asking the number one Detroit homer. I mean,
no, not from Detroit, but again, look at my best ball exposure, and oh my god, I love that offense so much.
We could ask Steve. We'll give him the $100 free bet. Would he rather bet the Lions -3 this week, or does it spread the Raiders -3.5?
No, we're at 2.5 now. Your team is taking money.
Oh,
because everybody thinks that a coach that's 71 years old. I mean, come on.
All right, Steve, are you betting it sounds like he's staying away. Would be his.
Let me make sure. Yeah, minus 2.5 now. Patriots are taking money.
Yeah, makes sense.
They shouldn't be.
I'm gonna say I agree that I think Devontae smashes. I think Raiders win. I definitely agree though with Tyler that if I had a choice between the two, I feel that Lions are the safer side, like spread to take.
Okay, you guys are gonna take the road favorite instead of the home dog against the worst.
You don't even have a home field.
Who has the worst roster? I'm not talking about team because you guys got a great coach. Who has the worst roster than the New England Patriots?
Not many.
Their number one receiver is Tyquan Thornton.
And then they lost. Christian Gonzalez was having an absolute awesome start to this season, and then they lost him. So, Steve said he had to choose between the two bets to go with. He'd go the Lions, but if you had to bet this game, he'd go the Raiders, and that's what.
And he just wishes it wasn't McDaniels.
Yes.
Welcome to my world, Steve. I've been going to Genie's R Us every night, and I still haven't been able to get rid of them.
Oh my god! All right, I think we've talked it through.
I'm betting it right now, just to spite you.
We've talked through the spreads. We talked through the tails.
I hope you catch the ticket spread.
Yeah, I do too, and I might take it too. Honestly, I get the McDaniels fear, but. I don't know.
Who would you rather have, Devontae Adams or Tyquan Thornton?
Yeah,
I mean, come on,
guys.
That's
where I get enamored with offenses, so that's why I could probably see myself betting it by Sunday. But yes, let's
see, Jimmy G, who every woman wants, or Mac Jones, who can't even get mono. Come on.
Oh,
Mac Jones sitting there with the beer belly, not even looking like an athlete. You got to be kidding me. Jimmy G looking shredded.
I wouldn't be trash talking Mac Jones all out hard spread. That could very easily be your next quarterback once Jimmy G's out the door.
No, he's not.
What are you guys gonna go do? Draft one?
Yes.
I mean, he's got to go somewhere, and that might be the only opening spot.
No, he doesn't have to go somewhere.
They don't want to be there no more.
He's going to be like Carson Wentz. When you have an attitude like that, people aren't going to put up with you.
I was going to say
He's
he does feel like he has an attitude. Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see what his career path is after this. But I don't know. I don't know if it keeps going as bad as it is. I don't think it's a starter next year. I think it's a backup.
He has to be a backup somewhere. But the only place I could see where like the pathway would open up for it's like, all right, you maybe could be a day one starter getting here would be Vegas. It'd be Jimmy G walking out the door.
I think we'll keep AOC as our backup.
No, it would be Jimmy G walking out the door or just being done.
He'll probably just get wheelchaired out the door after.
Yeah, and then they look around. They're like, "Are we really sure AOC's our guy?" And McDaniels goes, "Well, we can get Mac Jones for chump change, a 5th or a 6th round pick." And they just bring him in
as a backup, I guess. I'm just worried about his attitude in the locker room.
I mean, if you give up a 5th or a 6th round pick for him and he turns out to be your starter, I mean, it's a lot better.
Turns out to be our starter.
It's a lot better than going to the plate and swinging all the 1st and 2nd round draft picks you guys missed.
No way, dude! This year's draft.
You guys would get to the top of this draft, and you guys would sit there and you'd go. There'd be a big whiteboard. It'd be Caleb. It'd be Drake May. It'd be Quinn Ewers. It'd be Michael Penix, and it'd be Bo Nix. You want to know who the Raiders would come out of it with?
If you say Bo Nix, I'll throw up.
It'd be Bo Nix or Penix.
I love Penix.
Penix isn't going to be good in the NFL.
Oh, Penix is going to be sweet.
I mean, every time you watch a Washington game, it's literally him just throwing 70-yard deep balls every play.
And they're beautiful.
until he's got to throw the ball across the middle, and it's like 8 yards off the receiver.
Hey, that's what Richardson looked like in college, too. He's not bad. We'll get there.
All right. Before we get to the Thursday night football, Clyde wants a survivor pick. Do you guys have a survivor pick for Clyde?
I mean, have you used the Bills yet?
If you haven't used the Bills,
if you haven't used the Bills yet.
I mean,
I feel like it's an easy week. It just depends on if you want to say to people. I would use, Miami.
Yeah.
You're not losing to Carolina. You got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
Miami,
I would not use the
Buffalo,
Niners this
Philly.
week.
Yeah,
Pardon?
those.
Miami, Buffalo, Philly are the 3.
I know you guys. Sometime you guys got to. You and Steve will have to jump on show with you guys. Talk draft picks because I can't talk draft prospects. He says he has a big injury history.
Yeah, no, he does, and that's why he's an older prospect too. But I just watching the tape, man. I think he looks just as good as the other guys. Tyler, if I end up with Quinn Ewers, should I be happy? Because that's who I'm seeing us.
That's who you want the Raiders to draft next year?
No, that's when I'm reading mocks. That's a lot of people think that he's going to end up on us.
Now, the way this is going to sound like bad just because of the name that's used in here. But I think he could kind of do what Mahomes did in his draft. Not talent-wise, but everyone's staring at the draft board, and there's Caleb and there's Drake May. When in Mahomes' draft, you had 2 guys ahead of him, and he just kind of flew under the radar, didn't go until right around pick 10 or 11, and ended up being the best quarterback anyway. If it ain't Vegas, I could see Atlanta kind of hanging around those middle teen picks, getting Quinn Ewers, and it's like, oh, their offense is unlocked now, and this quarterback's actually good.
I think it'll be a top 10.
He might be, yeah, but it all depends on how fast some other guys come off the board, too.
I think everybody's coming off the board this year.
It all depends. Like, if Chicago lands 1 and 2 and they can't find a suitor for 2, it's like, well, now there's 1 pick backed up for a quarterback. You know what I mean?
They'll find the suitor for Drake May.
But you know how teams are spread. Sometimes they ask for a lot more than the team wants to give up. Like, they'll sit on that pick and just eat it.
I doubt it. If they did, though, they would end up with Marvin Harrison Jr. They're not that bad off.
Yeah,
really.
What would you get? Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison?
Yeah,
oh my God.
That'd be sweet.
That's insane.
Yeah, might not. Maybe it's like whatever.
I don't know. I don't know prospects at this time of the year. I know him later in January, but I know Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison. Clyde said he's taken Bills, Eagles, Chiefs, Dolphins, Niners, so he's leaning Rams. I think the Rams are fine against the Cardinals. He's got Kupp back. I mean, I'm very, very high on the Rams with Kupp back. He looked like he went right back to that Cooper Kupp role. So I like the Rams this week, and so I like that. So, anyways, again,
you can just use the Raiders this week, Clyde. I mean, it's money. Money.
But
I'm saying, cap this game with Bill Barnes coaching, and look at that roster.
There you go. So
Terrible.
I don't mind Rams, but spread says just go Raiders and keep it easy and check off the Raiders. And be
I mean, seriously, Bill Belichick is like in LeBron levels of being a terrible GM now at this point.
That's true. It's been rough.
Here he goes. 2 weeks early, LeBron takes.
Yeah, I've been doing my stuff. Hey, Meg, just to give a shameless plug, Tyler and I's first NBA show is going to be electric. We disagree about everything.
You disagree about everything in NBA? I love it.
Yesterday, I think we disagreed on 22 of the 30.
Oh my God, I love it. I love hearing you guys debate anything, but yeah, no, NBA definitely leans into that a little bit more, just the night to night stuff. So obviously,
I can't wait to talk to Steve about all these quarterbacks as he's putting that in this chat too. You want to throw that one on the screen?
Oh yeah. Steve was talking about, obviously Steve does our draft content, and check out On the Clock. You can already simulate the 2024 mock draft or NFL draft, and have been able to do so since May. Steve updates the data every week, so the big board, the draft order, team needs, all that's updated. So this is. And
for those just listening, he wrote, that would be the reason why Chicago might not trade the second pick. Harrison and DJ Moore for Caleb Williams. You flip Fields for something. I mean, he's right. That's a good rebuild right there.
Exactly. So yeah, if you wanted to start doing some draft prep, you can do it all season long, all off season with On the Clock for free, or you could upgrade to Ultimate GM, have no ads on entirefanspeak.com. And then soon in late October, you'll be able to simulate free agency through the NFL draft if you want to truly be the ultimate GM like these guys are right now. They're making some massive trades here. I like it. But guys, I think it's time to talk Thursday night football. And again, be sure to check out fanspeak.com. All these guys' picks are going to be completely free. You go check out the sports betting tab. It's on the homepage too, but check out the sports betting tab. You can check out the NFL treasure map. You could check out the NFL betting card. It'll have all our picks for tonight, all the picks for Sunday, and then it gets updated for Monday as well. So check out everything for free on fanspeak.com. But it was fun covering all that. But now it's time to talk Thursday night football. Obviously, we think it's probably going to be a blowout of the Chiefs over the Broncos. Don't think it's going to be pretty. We've got some weather to consider too. There's going to be some sustained, I think 15 to 20 mile an hour sustained winds, gusts up to 30 miles an hour. So that is something to consider. But with that said, we got to talk the game. Obviously, I think the Broncos are going to win, or excuse me, the Chiefs are going to win easily. But I'll go to you guys each, and then we'll jump in and get some first touchdowns and build a same game parlay. How do you see this game going down tonight, spread?
I didn't bet it because I don't like really bet Thursday night games that much. Yeah. But if I did, you guys are going to hate this. I would take the 10.5.
Yep. Okay.
I would take the 10.5. I think the Broncos play this team. It's one of those. If it was an
they do play them tough.
Game,
yeah.
Let me pull up their results versus the Chiefs. But here's the thing about these Chiefs. This offense is not where it's going to be by the time the playoffs come. So I'm not downgrading them for a potential championship, but I still think they got a lot of work to do. It's Kelsey, and Mahomes is really still struggling to build chemistry with some of these receivers. It feels like Rashee Rice is emerging as his favorite target.
His targets per route run are crazy. They need to give the kid more routes.
Kadarius Toney's massively inconsistent. Mm-hmm. I think he works for the team because when he's doing well, you can roll with him, and if not, he doesn't kill you because it's not like they made a huge investment in him. Right. Sky Moore's been a disappointment. Yeah. Am I safe to say that?
Yeah. Oh, he's definitely.
I thought he was going to be way better here. Yeah. In this offense, and then who was their last receiver?
He's running a lot of routes. He's just not getting a lot of targets. Whereas conversely, which he's not earning a lot of targets, he's not getting open. So conversely, Rice isn't running as many routes, but he's been earning more targets per route run. I like Rice tonight. Like his props just as a sneak peek. But okay, so you would take the points with the Broncos.
So just if we're going through, right, like I just pulled up the schedule. So the last time they played, New Year's Day, Chiefs won 27-24. And in fact, the Broncos had the lead going in the fourth quarter of that game.
Yeah, that was best ball finals. Just a little throwback to the best ball, because I always got to turn it back to best ball. The guy who won DraftKings Millie Maker won it with the Russ Wilson. He had actually accidentally, I think, had 4 quarterbacks on DraftKings, and one was Jordan Love. That must have been an accident. One was who was the Browns quarterback that now is our Washington's backup? I'm just blanked on his name.
Heineke? No.
How can I not remember the Browns? He's our backup, right? Brissett. He had Brissett. He had Brissett, Lawrence, and who obviously Lawrence carried him through. He had Brissett, but Brissett and Lawrence weren't doing it for him. Week 17, Lawrence got pulled. Russell Wilson is what helped this guy win the Millie Maker. So Steve just said in chat. So because we looked at that lineup and we were like, wow, Russell Wilson is what got made. And it was week 17. They went off in week 17. So go ahead. Sorry.
All right. So then before that, last season, 34-28, the Chiefs won. Before that, 28-24. Before that, 22-9. And before that, 22-16. Now, the Chiefs won all these games straight up.
Right.
But the Broncos would have covered this spread each time. And I know you're going to say this defense is terrible, but I think this is where the familiarity helps.
Another division game. I'm kind of
talking myself into it. Tyler talked me out of it.
Tyler, so if you had to pick a side, would you take the Chiefs tonight? Obviously, spread.
I would, if you're just going to force me, my only plays I can use are the spread, the total, and the money line.
Okay.
I probably default to just taking the points with Denver because I don't trust KC's offense right now. But with all the different options you can use on sportsbooks nowadays, I'm just going to same game parlay this. We talk about, you just said all the scores, and it's all right, they have some games where they don't fully blow this team out. They win by a field goal. So I'm going to use the alt spread, -2.5 on the Chiefs. Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of those totals went over this number that you read off spread, but we talk about it. Chiefs offense outside of Kelsey, we don't really trust these weapons. Pacheco should be able to run the ball, but running the ball also runs the clock. I don't see him chunking off 50-yard touchdown runs left and right like these Miami running backs do. So maybe he gets 1, maybe he gets 2, but he's not getting any more than that. Tony, Rice, MVS, these guys just don't scare me as putting points on the board. And I think Kelsey's going to be a decoy on a bum ankle. Give me KC -2.5 and under 49.5 at -110 on DK. Learned that from our guy JJ, Uncle Dunkle on Twitter. Love that play right there. Seen him doing that all last year. Fucking took that from him. Love that play here in this spot.
Okay, you heard it here. Bonus bet. Tyler's all about giving out bonus bets, which I freaking love. That's amazing. I like it. And I like that alt spread and using that in like you said, in some kind of same game parlay. And I like what you just created there. We're still good.
When he jumps back in.
All right, spread. What do you think about the alt spread of -2.5 and the under? Did you hear me?
He's getting his head.
I'm sorry. One more time.
Tyler said, go ahead, break it down for him again.
I did the JJ special spread, the good old same game parlay. Chiefs -2.5, under 49.5, -110. Thoughts?
You're playing an under with the worst defense in the NFL.
Well, we talk about the Chiefs offense just not being as high powered as we think it is. It's going to be going into the playoffs. And Kelsey's on a bum ankle, so it's where are the points coming from?
Yeah.
I could see that. I like Pacheco's over. I could see them just, running it a lot tonight. So.
And just as another bonus play, Meg, if you can't get that, but you can get the touchdown props and everything, I already bet the Pacheco to score and they win. Worst
Yeah.
rush defense on the field. He probably scores in this game, and they're probably going to win. So -105 on that play. I like that also.
Like that too.
Yeah, -105. I have -132 on that.
I honestly, I'd still like. I think the dude's going to score, and
I like him to score too. Yeah. Yeah, I love always when I did NBA shows with these guys, I always loved, I'd be like, Tyler, what's your, what is it on FanDuel? It's like what the player doubles or whatever. I was like, what's your player doubles? I love that. Like when you're trying to avoid a big NBA spread, just give me, a player prop and to win. And you can apply it to football too. Like you said, the Pacheco touchdown and Chiefs.
I think in football, it's a little tougher.
It's definitely tougher than NBA.
Because
it's
the
definitely
star's
tougher.
performance correlates so much more in the NBA.
Yeah. No, I definitely
when he hits these.
Definitely agree that the player double parlay are better in NBA, but I still like some of the ones that Tyler cooks up here in the NFL. So now let's really break it down here. We got the thoughts of our crew of how we think tonight's game's going and some different options to approach it. But now let's have some fun. First touchdown, guys. Spread, I'll go to you first. Who do you have for tonight's first touchdown? I've got a wild one, so I'm going to see.
I feel like being wacky.
I've got a wacky one too. So but I'll let you go first. I'm not going to do the ladies first call. I'm gonna let you go first. So what do you got?
Where did the number? Did it take off? Oh, Denver defense plus 4,400.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
So Denver defense. Why do you think that's the first one?
Because I have no idea what to expect in this game, so I'm just going completely wacky, and I feel like it's going to be one of those games where we just say Kansas City's the
Didn't
best
see that coming.
AFC, Denver's the worst team in the AFC. Kansas City is going to roll Denver, not remembering it's a division matchup. And so I'm just saying, okay, what is the least likely thing that could happen on the board? Denver defense, right?
There you go.
But it's 44-1, right? I hit this on my good for 3 seasons.
I hope my
dad.
I hope
for the next 3 seasons.
I hope my dad's watching this. He loves betting defense touchdown, anytime touchdowns and first touchdown. So I hope he's watching this so that he can sprinkle on the Denver defense first touchdown. I like it. Tyler, what's your first touchdown for tonight?
I thought my pick was going to be disgusting, but he might have outdid me.
Oh, I did. You can't top that.
I don't know. Once I say this name, you might like that water's going to taste disgusting in your mouth.
I can't wait.
The weather is going to play a factor in this because it's supposed to be windy. They just don't take deep field shots with these receivers they have on the Chiefs. It's going to be dink and dunk underneath, and with Kelsey banged up, there's one of those guys that's gotten 4 to 5 targets every game, but he just hasn't done much with it. Give me Kadarius Toney 17-1 to get in the end zone first.
Wow!
Like if catching one of these little dump off drag routes or something, breaking a tackle, running away from a guy, and it's like, oh, he's going to get to the end zone, and there he goes. He finally gets in. I think this could be the game where he finally breaks through for the Chiefs and looks like the guy that they thought they were getting.
Okay. All right.
You know what? I take it back. With your final statement, that's wackier than mine.
Yeah.
He's not breaking through.
I mean, look how bad this defense is.
Defense is bad. The defense is bad. So
if Mahomes walks into Denver and just lights his field on fire, he ain't lighting the field on fire just throwing it to Kelsey on a bum ankle. Somebody else is going to explode in this game.
I think it's going to be Pacheco. I was going to do a safe one of Pacheco, but it's kind of boring. It's plus 460. I had a wild one prepped. Maybe we just do 3 wild ones. And my wild one is I didn't until I took in a lot of content this week. I didn't realize that I was trying to do some research specifically for this game and props and everything.
I know where this is going.
Yeah, I did not realize, where this is going, that Denver has scored in their first possession 4 out of the 5 games. They obviously have a good scripted play sheet. They obviously can script the plays and get in the end zone for their first drive. So if they win that coin toss and they continue that trend mostly, and they get in the end zone first on their first drive, then I'm going to go wacky on this one too, because I think I am so confused why they're not utilizing this guy more. He's only getting 33% of the routes run, but they need a weapon against the Chiefs. So give me, guys, it's getting really wild. Plus 4,000, Marvin Mims, first touchdown.
I thought you were going to go with the other one I was considering going out with. And that was
I thought she was
Jaleel
going to say
McLaughlin.
McLaughlin because he scored, I think, 3 of the 4 first touchdowns for him.
Yeah, and that was a temptation too. But I believe the Chiefs are better against the run than the pass, and so yeah, that's why I went with a guy that I'm just being super bullish on tonight about his props, and you'll see that on the sheet. It's already up on the sheet. One of the props I really like for tonight. So we've got 3 wild first touchdowns, but boy, if they hit, we will have a time.
Only one of them can.
Well, exactly. I didn't mean to say that. I didn't mean to say they. Yes.
Yeah.
If one of these hit, because only one can. If one of these hit, it'll be a fun time. Because these odds are ridiculous and insane, and we're obviously having fun with it, just sprinkling in a little bit here. But now let's build a same game parlay, right? We like to end the show with the Thursday night same game parlay. So I'm gonna let you guys go first. So spread, why don't you take the first leg? And what do you like here? I'm on FanDuel, so it could be different odds depending on which book you're on.
Yeah, man. Why don't I have I don't have Jaleel McLaughlin there. My rushing yard.
That's because Javonte Williams is active tonight.
Yeah, so they're not offering a line for McLaughlin, right? Yeah, no.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I thought they still would offer a line on him. That surprised me.
All right, let's go back to our other guy that we talked about earlier, Rashee Rice with the target share. I think 33 plus is a pretty easy receiving total. I expect him to get the second amount of work behind Kelsey. So give me Rashee Rice over 33 receiving yards.
Like that. That's on the sheet as one of the individual props. So great minds think alike.
Oh, was it?
Yep.
Okay, good. All right.
Yep.
Yeah, I checked the sheet before the show.
And Tyler, yours. What do you got?
Nice and simple, Meg. Pacheco to get in that end zone.
That's nice and simple. And I love that too, because we went absolutely wild with our first touchdowns. So why don't we, kind of play it a little safe and smart with our anytime. So we got Rashee Rice over 32.5, Pacheco anytime. We need something from the other side here. I'm really bullish on Broncos. Again, he's only running around like 30% of the time. But this is like the assumption of rational coaching. And I am concerned about the weather and the wind, but assumption of rational coaching, Sean Payton has got to get Mims more involved if they want to try to keep pace with the Chiefs here. So give me his line of, receiving line.
21.5.
Yes. Give me 21.5 for Marvin Mims Jr. He can do that on one catch. So there you go. You got Rice over 32.5, Mims over 21.5, Pacheco anytime plus 494. So about 5-1 there for our show anytime or same game parlay, which I will put on the sheet after the show as well. So we will get everything. I'll have everything up on the sheet from today's show that wasn't already on the sheet. And that'll be, of course, on fanspeak.com. Check that out today. And again, check back Saturday for Sunday and Monday for Monday games. We keep it updated for all the games, keep the records updated and everything. Steve just said there's some talk Judy could be traded. So maybe they limit him tonight to make sure he doesn't get hurt, maybe more for Mims. So that definitely feeds into my school of thought. On
I don't buy into that. Do you think they'll sell off?
Yeah.
They already said
you do?
I think
teams are already calling for Judy. Yeah, they're going to sell pieces off of this team.
Yeah, I think they're going to sell Judy.
And it makes sense for them to limit him because he is made of glass. Like he can.
Oh my God, he is so fragile.
Now we're stuck with him.
Who's going to trade for him? Like Carolina, because they need a number one receiver.
Already called. Carolina will trade for him.
Who else?
I mean, what other? I mean, I assume other playoff contenders.
Yeah, any team that thinks that they could bolster their receiver room and has the money will do it.
Dallas.
I could see that.
That's driving me crazy. They're not using Cooks enough yet. Hopefully that changes. They haven't had a normal game yet.
Throw the ball to goddamn CeeDee Lamb.
I know. It's Lamb, Cooks, Gallup. It's driving me insane. So hopefully, but again, they haven't. A show I watched on Underdog that breaks down every single game, every single team. Talked about Dallas hasn't played a real game this year. A normal game this year. It's either been blowout one way or another. Basically all season long. So
Dak is terrible now. Okay, he's not terrible, But
He's
that
just a
contract's
game
ruining
manager.
that team.
Yeah, I hope it can get more to the mean and the norm with them, and Pollard and just that Dallas offense can get on track for sure.
Is it that Dak's bad, or is it the play calling got worse? I think
think-
it's that Dak's not mobile anymore, and now he's a pocket passer with an average arm.
I think the play. I'm blaming more of the play calling, but again, I'm willing to wait and see a little bit larger sample size here, because again, the sample size we have so far has just been these games.
Do they have Brian Schottenheimer as their OC?
Well, yeah, I know McCarthy is calling the plays, but I think
Seattle.
I thought it was Schottenheimer. Steve would know if he's still in the chat, but yeah, the play calling, and I defended it this summer, and I'm frustrated with that. Hopefully that improves. Hopefully some closer games, more back and forth, get these receivers more involved, and Dak kind of gets more to the mean, because it's been definitely a rough start there. But all right, yeah, Schottenheimer, OC.
Yeah, I think that was a bad decision.
Yeah,
that's a definite downgrade.
Yeah, and it's a Kellen Moore. I saw someone talk about it's a Kellen Moore Bowl on Monday night or whatever, because we got Kellen Moore coming back or it's whatever, Chargers, Dallas.
Oh, so they won't see it before then, Meg. We love Dallas in that spot. We love Dallas in that game. How do you feel about that?
I don't agree with that.
Why?
Because I messaged you about this. I like the Chargers coming off a bye, getting a little healthier. I know Herbert got banged up, so I don't know any of the status of that. But coming off a bye and getting Eckler back is huge, just absolutely huge and massive. And then I think Dallas can bounce back from that awful loss, but
it's the ultimate buy low spot.
I know it's an ultimate buy. I know it's an ultimate. I know it's an ultimate buy low spot, but I think the Kellen Moore Bowl, Kellen Moore is gonna win with his current team.
All right. Well,
and hey, again, maybe
I can't wait to message you there.
Yeah, exactly.
I like our Cowboys play there a lot.
All right. I like it. I mean, that's good. That's good. We both have our convictions. That's the only thing. I love everything else on the sheet. Love it. Absolutely love it.
See, Meg, if they had defensive players in best ball, you'd give the Cowboys more respect.
Yes. Listen, I dropped a lot of Cowboys, but Lions and Chargers are my two favorites. And so, I mean, I should change my whole wardrobe when I'm not wearing burgundy
and rightfully so.
Powder blue this fall.
Put up good statistics. I'm just saying this team finds ways to lose.
All right. Well, Steve's with you with the Cowboys. His sister's going on the powder blue.
Good. Then we can have a good sibling showdown on Monday. Then.
Exactly.
Let's go.
Oh my. Well, anyways, yes, check out our sibling shirt survey, breaking down the showdown slate. We actually didn't do. We're going to start doing an underdog show, doing underdog battle royale. It has a little bit longer shelf life, and then still doing sibling surveys for every showdown slate. So check out the sibling survey for tonight's showdown slate between the Broncos and Chiefs. Check out, again, all the content on fanspeak.com, completely free. Their treasure map, the NFL betting card, always updated, all that stuff. We really appreciate you guys. Good luck this weekend, everybody. We hope you make a lot of money. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and we will see you next time.